We'd like to thank our sponsor for this episode, ViewRail.
America's leading manufacturer of floating stairs and modern cable glass railings.
They handle every part of the process, from design, engineering, manufacturing, delivery, all the way to installation.
There is a 10-year structural and finish warranty on all products installed by ViewRail certified technician.
Nearly all components are made in-house, giving you more control over style, material, finishes, budget, and timeline.
All products are designed as a modular integrated system that are engineered for easy installation. It's like putting together an erector set.
Thanks so much again, ViewRail, for sponsoring this episode. All right.
Yeah, you kind of need to suck because that way people won't want you back.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll just be like, I don't even know.
Or you could be really good and then we have to get you back.
Yeah. I could just say like, yeah, they begged me to come back.
Well, we will beg. You want us to beg? What do you want us to do?
Or y'all could take the approach they always come crawling back. You know? Please take me
No,
back.
we wouldn't want that approach. All right. Welcome back to the Passion for Craft podcast. As you can see, we're back to the way things should be right here. Richard's here.
Woo!
Happy to be back.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me back.
Here making a guest appearance as promised. You're our favorite guest. We love having you.
Thank you.
We miss you. What's new? We got to know everything. Fill us in.
Yeah,
on,
fill us
Well,
in.
I just want to say thanks for having me, and you guys downgraded the table, unfortunately.
yeah, when you left, we downgraded in quality and a table. So
The whole set's different.
The set's different. We are doing a bunch of remodeling over there, which you guys can't see. And our table is a cheap copy of...
I'm surprised you allowed
I'm kind of
this.
ashamed.
Yeah.
Got everything covered in tarps. It's hard to find a good table.
And this is, if you watch Building and Brews, this is the room.
Yeah,
We're Building
exactly.
and Brews.
Yeah.
Are you doing any more of those?
helpful.
I haven't. Yeah.
My wife was asking me about it.
I know. Someone asked me about it the other day.
People in my class asked me about it too.
Wow, shoot.
Add it to the list.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, it's hours in the day's problem.
Speaking of your class, you know, I know you're trying to interview me, but I gave you that saw
Yeah.
at the Christmas episode last
Yeah,
time.
that's right.
And you were using it. You text me. I get a text from Jackson.
Yeah.
He's like, this is my favorite tool, that Japanese saw.
Hands
Yeah.
down.
So that's pretty cool.
It is truly hands down my favorite tool. Second place comes chisels, and then third place comes one of my hand planes.
Yeah.
So I think
That's cool.
that saw is awesome.
It's so precise.
It's so precise. It's really good, and it's got crosscut and rip cut on
Yep.
it. And it's a pull saw.
Yeah, it's so much better.
So I like,
Pulling.
I think the pulling is so much better. There's a couple of guys in my class that think pushing is better, but a lot of it's just because that's what they were trained on.
Yep.
I've done very little sawing, I'm chagrined to say, but I just haven't done it as much. And the pull motion just seems more natural to me
It feels better.
to just, because when I feel like when I'm aligning a push cut saw, I'm just doing like a slight pull to make that mark.
Definitely.
And I feel more precise when I'm pulling
100%.
it rather than just going away from. I feel like I get less precise the further away I go.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
you're getting the answer to your question because now he's kind of geeking out on all the
That's cool.
the
Yeah.
skills and everything he's
How
learning.
do you feel with this saw?
Oh, they're great saws.
Yeah.
They're great saws.
Do you
Yeah.
like the push cut or the pull cut better?
Depending on what I'm cutting. Like I can't see ripping a big board with the Japanese
Yeah.
saws. They feel pretty flimsy, but any kind of trim work, dovetails, anything like that, they're great saws.
You have more control like coming into your body versus like
Yeah.
pushing away, I feel like.
I feel like I'm at my least controlled here, and then I just get more and more precise as I get closer.
But ripping a board, I think I would do the push.
Push.
Yeah.
I've used that, like that's been my saw. I tried to use a rip cut. Like I have a rip cut and a cross cut saw individually, and I was like, I'm gonna put it aside. I'm gonna get the Ryoba out.
That's
So-
cool. Well, I got you that last
Yeah.
time, and then I got Brent the shovel holder.
Yes.
And I don't know if he's using that as much.
I think he's
but
used it. I think it's in
I
his
hope
garage.
it's not in the trash in the building.
I forgot. That's right. That
What do
was
you mean you forgot? You're not using it?
that quickly went into the dumpster.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Richard.
I'm messing around.
What? It went in the dumpster.
I mean, that was the greatest all-time moment of him laughing
Yeah,
at that.
I think it
Go
was.
back to that Pinterest thing, and he's what is that? He's just dying, like laughing.
She buys PVC pipes and hangs.
What?
It's actually funny. One thing that's really cool that I want to talk to you about is all my classmates are like, what's up with Richard? You know him.
Really?
Like, yeah, a lot of them know you. A lot of them
What?
a lot of you.
That's cool.
That there were 3 guys in my class that like kind of knew who Brent was before going in. And then people that like about 5 of them who knew of him.
Yeah.
But with all 8 of them, they all knew of him because of you. They're like, yeah, I've been watching Richard for a really long time. And then I saw he started teaming up with this guy, Brent. They did a bunch of videos together. And then
that's really
I found
cool.
Brent. So,
Because I doubt they would have found the North Bennett Street School through me.
Right.
So they probably went from me to Brent.
That's
and
right.
I
ended
get
up there.
There's, I just told you earlier that your video of us looking at your mantle just aired on my YouTube video a couple weeks ago or a week ago, and did really well. So many of those comments have enjoyed our relationship, and I found you through Richard. Probably, of those comments, 80% would be I found you through
awesome.
Richard.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So
That's what collaboration does.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
Just especially when the things we do are so similar.
Yeah.
right. It
You know?
really is.
yeah.
So cool.
So what's going on with your speaking of YouTube?
I haven't been active.
Yeah.
You know those kind of meme comments where it's like, bro forgot his password, like I just haven't. It's kind of a crazy story. I started working for this builder, one of your old project managers. I won't say his name, who he is.
Yeah.
He did the barn, most of the
Yeah.
barn. They're doing these like $4 or $5 million houses out in West Fort Worth. And I'm Mr. YouTuber. I come in there and the project manager, he's cool. He doesn't care that I'm filming.
yeah.
But I start putting these videos out on this house.
Yeah.
We just started this house and I'm kind of walking through the details and stuff. And the videos are doing good. I'm getting like 80,000 views per video.
Yeah.
So I'm like, whoa, this is like, people are interested in this, So the videos are doing well. I put out like 4 videos on this house, and right around that time, that the 4th video, the project manager says, Richard, the clients of building the house, they found the video and they hit the roof, pull all videos down. I was like, no way, because they were doing so good. So there was this whole big discussion between everyone, and they were like, no, you can't be filming here. And what's crazy about it is that like the homeowners are really cool. I'm not like, they're awesome people,
Yeah.
but they were just like so frustrated that I was showing it. They're like, we're very private people and the stuff you were doing is cool. They're like, we love YouTube. We learn on YouTube, but we just can't have that like happening here. I'm like, dang it,
Yeah.
So I'm still there at that house, so I haven't been able to film anything. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah.
And then the lady came up to me and she was like really nice about it. She's like, I'm sorry, and you just can't do it here. I'm like, no, I get it.
Fair enough.
But one of the things she said to me is that she was watching the videos. This is mind blowing because she was like watching them and like upset with them, but she was more upset with the comments on the videos. Because she was like, all the comments were like, you're putting in those doors in a $5 million house, and those are rounded hinges in a $5 million house, and all this trash talk, YouTube comments.
Classic.
Yeah, and she said, I might have like let you keep the videos if it wasn't for the comments.
That's really frustrating.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy how it all went down, but it was really devastating.
Dang, that sucks.
Shoot, that's frustrating.
And we did some cool stuff there. But a lot of people, like one of the dumb comments that was like, if that's a $5 million house, shouldn't you be building all the doors? I'm like, no. That's like, how much is one of your 8.0 doors?
They're really
like
expensive.
10 grand probably.
They started around $4 or $5 grand
So
for an interior door.
and that's like not that no one wants to spend that, and you have like 20 doors on a house. Like that 4 or 5 million jumps up quick.
Yeah.
So people just don't get it. They see me build a door, then they're like, oh, you're building all doors. No, I'm not. No one wants to pay that. Well, not no one, but the vast majority aren't going to spend that much of their budget on doors. And then the pool is a big part of it. People just don't get it. I'm actually considering when I come back not having comments on.
Well, that's frustrating.
Yeah, so I'm kind of on this.
And you're there for another 3-4 months?
Probably 2 months.
Yeah.
Did you ask her if you could do the videos with comments turned off? I guess it's probably too far at this point. It's too long. Like,
yeah.
the downfall's already happened.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah. I think one of the big things she told me too is if you didn't say the price of the house, I would have been more okay with it too. But I told her like I was like, oh, I totally get it. But when you're doing YouTube, that's kind of one of the clickbait things. You know, I'm working on this $4 million house, and it gets people's interest.
Yeah.
So she's like, no, I get it. I get it.
Well, it's really good that they were nice about it,
Yes. Yeah.
because they
I
totally
thought
could have
they
been
were
awful about it.
Yeah. I thought they might have even told me to like,
Stop
we'll
working
find
on it.
someone else
Yeah,
or
exactly.
something, you know?
Yeah.
But no, thankfully they were cool about that part.
Has
of
the
it.
job been fun? Is it a good job?
Yeah, it's really, really cool. One of the things I'm learning on this job that I'm actually enjoying is building closets. Like,
Really?
yeah, like closets. Like I'm building closets. I'm building like all the hanging. I'm building little dressers and all the hardware and
Is
everything.
it because it's like cabinet work, or why do you like it?
It's more cabinet work. Yeah, it's not like your typical crappy closet.
Hang a
Yeah.
rod. Great.
Yeah,
So you're learning new skills then, right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
kind of why you're liking it.
And I've always kind of like dreaded closets. Like I don't want to be in a closet with lights, you know, there's no electrical but I'm like, this is kind of cool. Like just learning a new skill, you know?
Has your team grown?
Yeah, we hired another guy and he's helping us out.
So you get four guys now?
4, yeah. So, and then we're about to start dividing and conquering because there's that house we're going to wrap up. And then there's what they call a dream house, which is like a spec house with all fancy stuff. We're going to do that one. That one's kind of modern, not a whole lot of millwork stuff.
What would your role be in a house that's like more modern like that?
Install doors, install casing and base, and then any kind of modern woodwork. Usually they have some kind of like stain grade mantle or they incorporate some kind of wood in there. And then, so that's kind of on the horizon. And then there's another big house down there. So he's keeping me pretty busy. And then I think I might be helping you on that ranch down there.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I
Getting
knew
the
you were
gang back
busy, and that's
together.
what my guy said. And I was like, are you sure he's going to be available? So yeah, I hope you can.
Yeah, I've talked to
It's
your
going to be a good
guys.
job.
Yeah. Well, we did that first bunk bed out there at the other barn.
All right.
And then there's another one out there.
Yeah.
And that was a fun thing to build.
Yeah.
I think it was like 3-inch maple with all lap joints and stuff. That was cool.
Yeah.
So since I haven't been able to do YouTube, I don't know, like as a YouTuber, and you kind of know this for sure, you know this because you do your build show videos, but you're always kind of looking for the next video. Like, man, what's my next video? So that mentality is kind of like, I don't know, like it kind of makes you crazy a little bit. Like, what's
Yeah.
my next video? So being forced into not having to think about my next video, I've been able to like take a deep breath and relax. And my YouTube, as far as a business, like revenues are down big because I haven't been able
That makes
to
sense.
do anything. But working and kind of working on my business, I've been able to still kind of keep the same income.
That's awesome.
It's kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm doing it kind of reverse. I feel like most people would like start a business and then do YouTube. I kind of started YouTube and then like kind of started getting more into my business. It's kind of weird.
I think that makes you a better YouTuber. But I mean, yeah, right. I mean, now you will have more to tell people and more to the business side. I mean, just what you just said. I mean, what I've learned about running a business here in the last month, it would be a good YouTube video.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And I've had downtime to do kind of videos at my little shop and stuff. And I just kind of like, I'm just going to my favorite videos are job site videos.
Yeah.
A lot of channels, when they shoot in the same location, they kind of start to like fade out.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It just is not fresh. Like you have these guys who just make videos in their garage and it kind of just gets old. And I don't want to turn my channel into just, because that's all I have right now,
Yeah.
shooting in the garage and doing stuff. And I'm
What
like,
are you doing? Are you doing like personal projects in your garage right now?
No, I actually haven't been doing any of that.
What's the plan on staying in that house? Are you going to be there another year or two? Or you?
Our plan was to wait after the election and hopefully the economy gets better, which I think it will, and then try to move next summer.
Okay.
Yeah. Because
If
there's typically
it's-
a lot of uncertainty around the
Yeah,
election
I'm
times.
so
Yeah.
glad that's over with. Like,
Yeah, I know.
it's-
Me too.
Yeah, the plan was to move this coming summer, but I'm doing the math on these houses and these interest rates, and I'm like, might be staying there longer than expected, because I don't want to be like a slave debt to my to a house.
Did you get in a low interest rate on your house?
2.75.
Oh yeah.
And
it's hard to move.
It's hard. That's like those golden handcuffs you
Yeah.
talk about. It's like, how do you? I'll never. That won't happen in my lifetime again. I don't think.
It's hard to understand, hard to believe it will, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a far fetched if it does. But and then the other part of my business model is that I've been fine just doing job site stuff. I haven't needed my shop.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I want to. It's like I want to do more stuff in the shop, but you always need on-site millwork, on-site installers. So we have not like. It's a solid business model too. It's not like I need a shop. I've gone a decade or like 13 years without it. So
Yeah.
But there's other reasons we want to move, and you know, it's big family, little house.
Yeah.
You know, more space, but
Makes
I don't
sense.
know. Financially, I got to do the best thing.
Yeah.
So, but in the other downtime, I've kind of developed this other skill of graphic design.
Oh, cool.
So I've kind of forced myself to learn graphic design because one of my things I've always wanted to do was kind of start like a clothing company.
Nice.
So I'm kind of doing that in my
Yeah,
downtime.
you got some cool designs.
You really do.
Yeah. Well,
Dewaki.
yeah, that's a big
Dewakita.
one. That's going to be in my
That was an
my line too.
old one, but you showed me some of your new ones.
Yeah. I get into these modes where it's kind of like editing. And I think that's what I did when I'm editing. I like editing. So when I'm like, I have nothing to edit, I just kind of force myself to learn graphic design. So shameless plug. My apparel company is called Squared Apparel.
Squared.
And this is kind of
cool.
one of the designs I was playing with.
Yeah.
It's kind of this battle flag. This is a Declaration of Independence script.
Yeah.
And then the logo's right there. I'm even getting these little like woven patches
Oh,
and
that's
stuff.
cool. A little speed square.
Yeah, the
in
neck
thing.
imprints.
Yeah.
And the whole thing of it is actually, let me grab this. I brought this box and brought some hats for you guys.
Oh, sweet.
Like this is kind of the main logo.
Oh, that's awesome.
This isn't I'm not trying to promote my brand or anything, but
So
promote
Richard's
your
here
brand?
to promote his new
Yeah.
apparel brand.
but the idea of it is like, this is all this deep stuff I probably overthink, but there's a speed square.
Yep.
That fits perfectly across a circle, which our planet is a globe. It's not a flat Earth. And then it
Gonna
just
get some hate in the comments for that.
so it's basically saying like the square fits in a circle, and then there's order in the world. Like there's order in
That's
nature,
cool.
there's order in architecture, and the whole brand is based off beautiful geometry and beautiful architecture, like images of that.
Look at that.
So that has been something I've always wanted to do.
Can I
And
wear
with
it?
with this downtime, I will have a chance to kind of see that come to life next year.
Cool. That's awesome.
So yeah, it's just, and that all came from me. Like I go shopping and I just hate everything. I'm like, I don't know. I just
Make your own.
kind of like, yeah, exactly. Make
Yeah.
your own. So I'm still in the kind of like sampling and design phase, but
That's cool.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
This is really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think of if you think about going to buy T-shirts, it's all retro logos, retro brands, brand heavy things, or retro brands. And so I think coming out with something like that makes a lot of sense. I mean, giving craftsmen something to be proud of their craft and
100%.
that respects the traditions, that respects that. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, and it all came from too, like I told myself when I'm starting this, like I'm gonna sell it, but I'm like, I'm not gonna sit there and try, like I'm not making this to make money. This is literally just for me to wear. And if other people want to buy it, cool.
Yeah.
That's like where the whole idea comes from. So that's kind of been the downtime. And then honestly, a lot of Super Smash with the kids.
Nice. Nice.
Which I know you're
Yeah,
into.
Big fan.
Did you travel at all this summer? Did you go anywhere with the family? Did you go somewhere?
I think you went up to like Wyoming or something. Am I making that up?
No, I'm gonna go to Yellowstone this spring break or summer.
Sweet.
Yeah, I want to take the kids there. But I mean, we go to Broken Bow every once in a while, which isn't, I mean, it's cool, but it's not like far.
That's
cool,
awesome.
Like amazing or anything, you know?
Yeah.
My wife wants to go to Hawaii, but
Mm.
I'm like, dang, that's going to be expensive.
7
Maybe it
tickets
could
to
just
Hawaii.
be us,
Yeah.
you know?
That's a little easier.
Yeah.
We're grandparents.
But
What's that?
Where
your
your
daughter,
Oh, yeah, my mom.
close
your
enough?
daughter's
Yeah,
old
yeah.
enough that she could almost babysit, right?
They fight so much.
Oh, she does. They
Yeah,
do.
they're in the fighting stage.
Yeah.
She did this to me. He did this to
Yeah.
me, and we're just like,
There needs to be a referee around.
yeah, yeah. Like when I leave, I say, don't answer the door and don't start any fires.
Yeah.
And I walk out.
That video that we shot at your house a month or so ago, month and a half, right?
Yeah.
That was your magnum opus. That you said was your masterpiece.
Yeah, that's
And
my
s-
attempt.
and so if you haven't seen the video either on Richard's or on my channel, you'll see the mantle. And
Yeah.
so it's
And now the
it's
format of the
mantle
show
and
is-
an over mantle.
Apprentice, master. Because you've submitted your masterpiece.
I don't know if it's approved though.
Oh yeah, it's got to be approved. It's cool.
Yeah,
you.
it is nice.
It's a really cool mantle.
I appreciate it. That was a fun thing to do, and it has all the stockings on it right now too.
Oh, that's
it looks
really cool.
And the lights, it looks cool.
So is there another piece like that you're thinking? I mean, I was thinking about it when I was answering some of the questions that people are commenting and stuff. You have pushed yourself in a way that I would encourage other people to absolutely do. And I love how you saw what we were doing here and you said, well, I'm going to build a door. I'm going to build a window.
Yep.
I'm going to build a mantle. Right. And so
Yes.
one, I think applaud you because I think that's exactly what I hope people will do.
That's the Kool-Aid you're serving out.
100%, right? It's just that, look, guys, quit trying to throw crown up. That there are other skills in our craft that are valuable and you can do and make you better. I mean, you're a better craftsman for doing those things. As you know, when I walked through, I was blown away with all the variety and the creativity. And I mean, it was awesome.
Thank you
What
so
you
much.
did. It was
I
really,
appreciate
really cool. I would think though, and this is where I was going, that you build a piece like that, you're probably, I mean, it might be another year or two before you tackle another piece like this, just because it takes a lot out of you.
It definitely does. And I think the thing that really kind of took it out of me was the filming of it. I think if I can just throw headphones on and do it, oh man, that's so fun. But to sit there and move the
Record, set
camera
up
and
a
talk
shot,
to it,
yeah.
and that's why a lot of the stuff towards the end was voiceover, because I was getting a little burned out on the whole process. But it does take a lot out of you. It's kind of weird in that way.
Because
But
that was a culmination of a lot of different skills that you were bringing together, a lot of inspiration that you saw that you were able to practice. So it's just exhausting in a good way, but
In a good way.
they're exhausting pieces.
100%.
Do you draft your work before you do it?
No. Well, and that's what was crazy. And I think I said this in mine or your video, that what was kind of like weird about the whole thing is I just started at the bottom, holding books up and then just going up. I never thought to sketch what I wanted it to look like. I just like started at the bottom, and as I
That's
went up,
even crazier.
it was
what
crazy.
you
Even
came out with.
crazier.
and it was even like, I almost had like thoughts like, man, if I don't end up at the right spot or like the right proportion, like this is going to be embarrassing, you know?
If only there was a way to,
I
pre-plan
can't,
it.
Yeah,
I
like-
can't believe you didn't lay that out.
I can't
No.
either. That thing is unreal for being unsketched. That is crazy.
That speaks to your
Skill.
building
My
acumen,
psychoticness.
that
I'm
you
just
were
sitting
able
there.
to put
You have
that
a brain
together.
for it. That is awesome. It's so much cooler. I know it's not the right way to do it. It's so much
No,
cooler
it's not
that you
the
did
right
it the
way to do it.
Well, I spent like several hours like that staring at that wall.
Yeah.
And then Ashley has a photo of me like she took when I was staring at that wall. You know that statue of like the thinking
Yeah.
man? She's like, that's what it is. You're just like,
The
I don't
thinker.
know.
So I'm hold on. I gotta get through this. I can't believe you didn't sketch it out. So did you lay it out even a little bit? Like, did you draw a tape?
As
and
I
then
went
you're
up.
like,
Yeah.
okay, so
I
this
did.
piece has got to be this high. Yeah, that'll work out. And then you're on to the next one.
Yes, exactly. That did happen.
Yeah.
I probably went up like 2 or 3 pieces, but
you,
there was never
you had a
sketch.
firebox, and so you had to. That was establishing something.
helps.
Exactly. Yeah.
That
You
helps.
start with
Okay.
the firebox,
I
and
guess
then
I'm
you
just sitting there like
kind
how
of,
do you even-
and then you have your 2 outside corners of the main wall. You know, you can't come outside of that.
Right.
Well, even like speaking to what you were just saying a minute ago about how your desire for other people is to learn to have that appetite for that, you know, like to see what you're doing, hopefully see what I'm doing and what others are doing, and say like, man, I want to step up my game. So on these houses that I'm doing now, I go on the walks with the whole team, and as kind of like a trim consultant, you know.
Your whole team or the design team?
The whole
architect, designer, and everybody's
homeowner, yeah.
Nice.
And I kind of just,
That's cool.
I'm there.
And that's not a conversation you had in the past.
No.
Yeah.
No. But it's not, a lot of times it's not good because I know the right way to do stuff. No disrespect to anyone out there, but a lot of designers don't know what they're doing. They really don't. And I'm putting in stuff that I don't agree with. And it's stuff that's trying to look like what you do. It's stuff that's trying to look traditional and classical. And I'm like, and I've kind of barked back about it, and I've been put in my place like, well, we do what we're told.
Yeah. The challenge is that that doesn't surprise me. And one, I'm glad that you've been elevated to be included in those conversations, that you're in there.
Yeah.
And the next piece is to, and this can take some time, where, you know, fast forward 5 or 10 years and you're the guy that they're listening to. They're going, is that right? And they look at you, is that right? And so that's the opportunity. Usually people are always amazed that I get critical, that I get negative about stuff, but I don't feel like I'm being critical. I just feel like I'm sharing what historic precedent is. And so that would be my encouragement to you, that when they say, you know, they want to put a chair rail at 36 inches, you know, that you have the opportunity to go, well, you know, the historic precedent in this case would be about 28 or 32 because the height of the room. And if you could do a little spiel like that, that puts the doubt in the designer's mind. They're like,
oh,
he just
crap.
said a bunch of stuff that I don't know. And maybe I should talk to him. Maybe I should talk
to traditional.
Maybe I should talk to him before I start yapping my mouth, because those designers that don't know what they're doing know that they don't know what they're doing. And the only reason they have a powerful voice is because they know that no one else knows what they're doing.
Yes.
And if you say, well, you know, historic precedent is to do this, they'll all of a sudden go, wait. And the good ones will know that you actually know something, and they'll be excited about that, and they'll go, yeah, tell us more. What does that mean?
Yeah.
And then you are brought into that conversation, and you're one of the design leaders. And so that's how that happens.
100%. So here's an example of, well, just an example of like, are you even thinking about this? Like, we're all in this meeting and I'm holding this molding up. It's a chair rail and I'm holding it near the ceiling. It's a chair rail. I'm holding it like 9 inches from the ceiling. That's where it's drawn. That's where they want it. And I kind of mentioned like, hey, if you want that kind of picture mold look, we could get a picture mold. You know, it doesn't have to be this big, chunky 2.5 inch chair rail. Because the designer mentioned like hanging pictures from it. I'm like, you're not going to hang pictures from a chair rail. Well, it's just going to look like one. I'm like, what if we just get a picture mold? You know? And then it was like going into this transition. There's this stain grade stuff we did. It was paint grade coming into it, which I didn't like. And then there was like this weird area where I had to transition it into it, and it wasn't working. And she was just like, well, just drop it an inch. So I dropped it and it went flat against it. Yeah, that's fine. I'm just like, what? You're like, how does this even, are you just throwing stuff at the wall?
Yes, they are.
At this point, you know?
They're trying to be impressive.
I've done for the designers for you, I've talked to them briefly, and they're pretty adamant about what they want. They're like, nope, I want it this way. And here's why. You know, there's like a different level, you know, to the designers. And I don't know if all of your designers, I know you don't pick your designers. That's probably the homeowner. They've had their reasons. Well, for example, like Austin Bewley, he knows his stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and he's like, no, I want it like this.
Right.
You know, so that's just an example.
Well, it's fun for me to hear that and to hear again your continual progression, and I just can't wait till you're the guy, right?
Yeah.
Until you're able to have that voice and you're introduced as that guy, not as the YouTuber, but as that guy, right? That knows how to do this.
Although I'm sure the YouTuber gives you credibility.
Yeah, it does. Well, even like so that project manager of that house brought his brother in to look at it, and he had shown him my videos, and now I'm going to be helping his brother with stuff. And he's like, hey, this is he brought his PM in. He's like, hey, this is the YouTube guy. He's like, oh yeah, I've seen your.
Cool.
So if nothing else, it's like a kind of know you already type thing. You're not just
that's really good.
Stranger.
That's really good.
Do you talk much design stuff on your videos? I mean, you probably ought to start
Once I met you, I kind of started incorporating
Have
this
you
stuff.
have you done one where you explain, why molding's going? You've got a much bigger audience than I do. It would be good if you had some things why chair rails should be at this height or what these moldings should look like. You ought to do that's. There's some content for you. Because you know enough now. You know now.
Well, it's almost now I could just look at it and be like, "What the heck is that?" Something's off here. Like we were going through a neighborhood, me and John, who's like my main guy, right hand man, and we were talking about some of the exterior elevations of some of these houses. And he's like, "Do you like that house right there?" Because we'll ask each other, and I'll be like, "It's okay. It's like a French style, but the dormers." This is my exact words to him. The dormers have like a big forehead. So basically, you have the window, and then the forehead, I'm calling it, of the dormer is like half the size of the window. And I was like, "It has a big forehead," and he's like, "Yeah, that could be." Like he's seeing it now too.
Yeah, once you see it,
you can't unsee it.
Well, it's not even that you can't unsee it, but you develop an eye for it, right? You develop a taste for things that are just ill proportioned and kind of just in the wrong place. And so that's really exciting to see that you've got that eye now.
Yeah.
You've got that eye now for it.
It's developing.
Yeah, it is. And it takes time. And how long have we known each other? 3 or 4 years now?
Yeah, about when I moved into that house. So about 3, we're coming up on 3 years.
Yeah. So, I mean, just if you're out there kind of like, because I get it. Well, how long does it take before you can figure this stuff out? I mean, I feel like for me to understand the classical stuff, I don't know if I ever told you this, but that when I did that book, Traditional American Rooms for Winter Tour, Winter Tour, I hired originally Christine Frank to help me understand what I was looking at. Like I was like,
I did not know that.
Yeah, I was like, why did they do this? Like I kept pointing to different rooms, and I understood, base and chair rail and architrave and things like that. But they did stuff, and I was like, what's going on? And understanding that this classical ideal is not this hard and fast rule that you have to do it this way, and it has to be these moldings and these shapes. That there's this fluidity to it, and there's this vastness to it that is so, I mean, the infinite variety. And that's what I was seeing in these rooms, because Winter Tour is, 175 rooms from 1640 to 1860. So you're seeing all types of architectural styles, early colonial stuff, Georgian, Federal, Greek Revival. You're seeing all of this stuff and making sense of it, because Georgian's so different from Federal, so different from Greek Revival, that the way those moldings are expressed, I just didn't understand what I was looking at. So it took me looking and talking to her and bringing her in, going, what's going on here? What, why did they do the moldings that way? And her explaining, well, they were being playful there, or they were doing this there. Anyway, it took me a long time to develop an eye for it.
That is pretty wild, because I'm reading that book and looking at it like this guy is an expert, and you're just asking her because she's the co-author, right?
Yeah. No, in fact, she wrote a lot of that content for those rooms because I didn't understand all that.
Are those all your hand sketches?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could tell. I was like, that looks like exactly like the way he.
Yeah, yeah. Those are my hand scratches. It's just fun
you
for me.
You faked it till you made it.
It's the Japanese egg sorter. I'm just telling you guys. Remember the chick sorting? It's like that. Yeah, I mean,
I forgot what the principle was, but I remember.
But it's like yes or no. It's like, is this good? Is this not good? You slowly get it as someone above you goes, yes, that's right. No, that's not right.
Anyway, it's just fun for me to see you continue to get better, and I'm hopeful that everybody's out there. They've watched you progress. They've watched you grow, and now to be able to start leading those conversations in design meetings, that's kind of that next step for you, and I'm excited for that.
And I enjoy it.
Yeah,
like I'm happy to.
And you ought to be able to. You should do some videos like that, because that'll help you practice that language, explaining it to somebody else, right?
Yeah.
Maybe do some of those videos. What I would have done here. How would I have done this differently and stuff like that. It'd be good.
Yeah. I'm really hoping after this job wraps up, I'm kind of chomping at the bit to make some more videos.
Cool.
So,
cool.
Yeah. It's going to be awesome. I've considered like multiple times in the past, like not doing YouTube, but it just always calls me back.
Yeah.
So your team, the business side of your business, revenues, I'm assuming are growing. And you know, do you think having 4 kind of the limit of where you're going to be? Do you think you could have 6?
I think I could have 6. Yeah. And what's so funny is I don't know if you did this to me at the last podcast. Like when we last met up, you kept saying, I don't even know if you remember it, but you attract who you market to. Do you remember saying that a lot?
I don't remember saying that on that episode.
You said it a lot.
Do you agree with that still?
I still agree with that.
Who you're marketing to is who you're gonna draw in. For the past decade, I've been marketing to homeowners. And it just hit me. Like, I just remember you kept saying that. And I'm like, whoa, like, what am I doing? You know, I'm just like running around with these homeowners. And that's totally not the plan. I don't even really take those jobs anymore.
Good.
I'm only taking like the
home
jobs.
Builders.
Yeah. That I want to do.
Well, I know from our team and just in some of the jobs I've called you to go look at and stuff, it sounds like you could do more work. It sounds like you've got a backlog.
Yes, I do. I have a backlog, and I'm getting better at managing people. I'm kind of stepping into that role a little bit more. I think it's just with maturity, you know, just getting older. I'm like, all right, I can tell these guys what to do actually.
Yeah.
You know, hey, I'm going to need you here and to do that in this amount of time. And like, that's something I've never really, it's taken time to develop that skill.
Yeah.
Then I'm organizing a lot more people now, you know, a lot more, like 4 people.
It's 4 times more than you were before, right? Yeah. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. And then, it's just kind of learning that whole, it's management.
What does John think?
Of
of
the company growing?
As you're changing things
he's fine. If you've never met John, right?
I've never met John. No.
He's just a quiet guy.
Okay.
He's just kind of like, he's just,
go with the flow.
Okay.
Everything's good.
That's cool.
Cool.
Okay. You know, he's just like,
That's funny.
Hard worker. One of the
get-
hardest working people I know.
Yeah.
Like he'll literally just power through stuff
Yeah.
and he'll just come, what do you want me to do now?
Yeah.
Next, what's next? Like a
Wow.
monster, just
That's incredible.
eating work.
Well, I was
Yeah.
wondering, just because as you're growing as a businessman and everything like that, if John is seeing it, if he's like, hey, this is Richard, this is cool.
I don't know if he has that. He doesn't have that attitude of like let's grow the business. He's kind of just he's one of the guys that clocks in and clocks out.
Happy
and
if it
doesn't wanna
grows,
think
happy if
about
it doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah, I sent him a. It's funny. We had the frame for this vent hood.
Yeah.
And I sent him this. It's from the manufacturer Wolf. They have this like spec sheet of how you need to frame for it. And I sent it to him in like a document, and he wrote back, "Not my emoji monkey." He's like, "It's not my monkey,
not my circus."
zoo."
Yeah.
But jokingly, you know, because
Yeah.
he's like, I don't want to.
Yeah.
He will look at it. And,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like
yeah.
he like a lot of times I'll look at stuff after work and like study how we're gonna take this, handle it the next day, and then he's like, "Not my monkey."
Yeah.
He's just kind of a clock in, clock out guy.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Which you need those.
I was gonna say
you don't
that-
need all these chiefs.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, you got to
Well-
actually. Those people are kind of the majority of.
That's what's
the
going
company.
to make the company actually good or bad.
Is Tom still with you?
Yeah, Tom's still with me. Yeah, he taught me a lot about the closets. Because we have to do all these closets. They're part of the trim package, and I'm like, he's like, just follow me. And
So how do
just
you
blowing through these
how do you
closets.
find this new guy?
Just online. Yeah, just a guy. He wanted to work construction. I was like, what's crazy too is I just found this guy on random like classifieds, and I was like, okay, yeah, can you start tomorrow? And I was like, hey, you know that guy I was talking to you about? Well, I hired him. And Ashley was like, what? Like, you don't know anything? You've never met him? I'm like, oh yeah, I never did meet him. She's like, what if he's like an ex-felon? I'm like, I didn't think about that. and then I started thinking like, crap, what if he's like all face tatted up and stuff? And I was getting really worried. I was like, oh man. So then I'm waiting at work the next day, and like he's supposed to start, and it's just me and him at this job. And I'm like,
Jelly roll rolls up.
yes. I'm like, no. I'm really nervous. I'm like, I'll meet you here at 8. I'll be in a white Sprinter. He's like, okay, I'll be in a 87 El Camino. And I was like, oh crap, what's happening?
Did he really say an 87?
Yes. And then he pulled up in this thing, and it's really clean. And then out steps this guy. He's not like steroided out or anything.
But he's strong.
He's just like built, and he's like, I'm here to work. And then, so he's been with us.
What's his name?
Michael.
Mike. Yeah, Michael.
So he's worked out.
Yeah. He's really good.
Wasn't a felon.
No. Super clean cut.
That's awesome.
Healthy eating, like goes to the gym every day.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
What is, how did he get skilled? How did he learn?
He worked in Houston for a little bit as a project manager on kind of like cookie cutter houses. So he was like managing people. And I think his plan is to one day be a builder. So he's like, I want to just get my foot in the door and like look at these houses and stuff, which I'm like, that's cool because, that's someone who's going to care.
Yeah.
But I was really like that whole night. I was like,
is he a young guy?
Who is this going to be? Yeah, I'm 35. He's 34.
Cool.
He's a year younger than me. Yeah.
Nah, it was really fun.
And he was actually for the past 3 years, he went to Australia and he was working in Australia. And I know a little bit about
Down Under.
Yeah, I was going to say your accent. I know a little bit about that because there's this guy in New Zealand that I watch, Scott Brown Carpentry on YouTube. And he is similar, Australia, New Zealand.
Yeah.
Building techniques.
They wouldn't like it if you said that, but.
Well, I'm an American. I'm sorry. You all sound the same. Yeah. Just kidding. Yeah, but he was telling me about like the safety stuff that they do is like so much red tape. He's like, one time it took them like 2 hours to screw in a bolt because they had to put up like all this like basically like caution tape and like wear all this gear.
The prep for it was.
Yeah. And then here there's like all these like Mexican dudes on the rafters, Modelos are falling and hitting the ground. And like, there's no one wearing any hard hat. There's no hard hat. He's like, do I need steel toes? I'm like, I just wear skateboard shoes. I mean, if you want to, cause he's coming from Australia where it's all like
very regimented.
Well, the commercial world's
crazy.
more like that here. I mean, you would have to you're supposed to wear steel toe boots and hard hats and safety equipment. So.
I've got a buddy who was in the union. Or he's one of my classmates. He's actually a patron. He's really awesome. He talks about the union a lot, and it seems like those rules all exist and stuff, and they do it a lot more than residential, like of course, but everyone's kind of pushing back against a lot of that stuff, which makes sense. But also, it's like really good to have that stuff at the same time. Cause
I did one commercial job for this Sebastian people, and they were like. I showed up with my skate shoes and the guy sent us away and said, go get some
steel toe.
No, he said, go get some shoes that look like steel toes. And I was like, so do they need to be steel toe? He's like, if someone comes up here and you're wearing those, they just need to look like steel toe. So I get this I go to Walmart, which is like 5 minutes from that job. And then I get regular shoes that kind of like work boot looking, and then we're wearing a vest, a hard hat, safety glasses to put in like crown. I'm like, this is so lame, and that's why I don't like commercial. I don't like that. And then before that, we filled out a JSA, like a job site safety thing. Yeah. What did you do today? How did it go? Were there any? I'm just like, dude, this is so,
putting crown.
I just want to get to work.
Yeah.
What about tools? Did you buy any new tools? You still a Festool guy?
Yeah, I'm still a Festool. As you saw me walk in with the exoskeleton, which will have some behind the scenes. Austin, I kind of planned that with Austin.
That was well done. That was really well done.
It's like, should I walk in with it? He's like, yeah, it'll be funny.
I was like,
Festool's been cool, but I'm realizing now, like, man, if I have these guys working for me, I probably shouldn't be buying Festool. I'm just buying Milwaukee stuff now.
Yeah.
Because if it gets lost or taken, like it's not that much. Like my Festool drill was like $600.
Do you like the drill driver from Festool?
I love it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I love it. Yeah. So I just recently, Black Friday, did some Milwaukee stuff, but none of it was really on sale.
And that's
anyways.
because it's like on-site job tools that you're letting
I
everyone
can just
use
throw
kind of
around.
deal.
Yeah. The Festal stuff is really mine.
Yeah.
But all the other,
Because when it was two guys, it was you and Tom. It was like
John, yeah.
Or sorry, you and John. You were like, I'm great with you. I trust you to use some of this stuff, whatever. But as you're adding more guys, that makes sense that you would want more like, these are the company's tools, not necessarily.
Right. Yeah. Just take that.
Right.
Keep it with you. If you lose it, it's $100
Right.
or $200.
That makes
it's
more
not a
sense.
big deal.
I
Versus if you
understand
lose my Festool,
you'd be upset.
we'll have some problems.
Yeah.
Are you finding you have to train your a new guy?
I do a lot, yeah, because he came from a very basic world. And one of the things is the speed. Like Tom's been doing this before I was born. I've been doing this for going on like 15 years. John's been right there with me. So he's kind of new. He knows basic skills, measure and cut, but I didn't realize how fast we are. Like we get in and like we literally like just start working.
Mm-hmm.
And he needs a lot of guidance. But I know because I think of it like, what would I do if this is my first day? I wouldn't know any of this.
Right.
I've got to be patient.
That's good that you have that thought.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would get upset with someone who's not gonna get to work, go.
And the quality that he's putting out is good. If the quality wasn't there, I would be probably like having talks. But I tell him the speed will come.
Yeah.
You know, the speed will come later. But the speed has to eventually come.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because
but you can expect that to come quick.
Yeah, with you probably y'all are learning skills at your school. You're probably just going through the same thing. I can't do this fast. You know.
Yeah, it's hit or miss. There are some people who are from the world, like one's an ex-cabinetry guy, Kevin Jarvis. He was on an episode a couple ago. And he's very skilled. He's done a lot of work and he's quick, he's talented, and he's precise. And so all of his joinery just is really good. Well, not even joinery, just his cuts all go flush together. And it's like, that's crazy. And he's finishing everything with a hand plane and he's really
nice.
He's good. And then there's other guys, like one guy in my group, Colin, he's furniture making guy. So he's very precise and he's quick too. Then there's Jacob, and Jacob was like he's a hobbyist, but has done a lot of work with stuff. And so he's been doing it and he's quick. Another guy came from the carpentry program. So he's like had enough experience doing it and stuff. He's like variable though. He's either really fast or like really slow in doing stuff.
Depending on the task. Probably.
Yeah. It's either he's really precise and slow and like gets the cut right, or he's really fast and
critique
efficient.
yourself. What are you?
I'm the slowest for sure. Like I said Kevin. Kevin's not my group. The other three guys are in my group, and so we work together the most. I am the slowest bar none. I'm the least experienced, least skilled, and I'm just trying to do my best to like keep up with those guys because I'm still like asking questions. They're like moving on and like doing stuff, and I'm like, can you help me explain like what this part is and help me understand this?
So did they hate you?
They probably do. I don't know. I don't know how they feel, but I think we have a good like work dynamic.
That's cool.
Together.
I saw y'all were building that. You were framing something. What was that?
We framed a shed.
Okay, the shed.
And so we built 3 sheds. One each group has a different shed.
And that's all hand tools?
No. We're so there. It used to be like this whole program was like museum quality, everything. And so you would leave and you wouldn't have any like practical job site stuff. And so now they've done this section on building sheds where you're doing this as more of like an introduction to just building in general and like building.
Okay, like construction.
Yes. And so you could go leave here and go work in the Carpenters Union and have a good hand on yourself, like of what's going to be
expected
of you and how to build a house, how to frame out stuff, all the different phases. But then also we're doing it at a different level. Like all of our stuff is drafted before it goes. Like that's more like the museum quality work where maybe you're not just getting a sketch up. You are hand drawing all the joints, all of the stuff.
Cool.
And so like that stuff is kind of where it just distinguishes itself, is a little different. But that's the whole idea behind building the sheds.
So you got the first year and second year courses. And so in the second year, they get into more preservation
Even
stuff.
the back half of this year, we're going to learn how to like deconstruct a house, like preservation, take it apart, label, mark all the stuff.
Cool.
And then we're doing joinery at the later half of this year. So we'll do like dovetail joints. I'm sure we'll do box joints.
I've never cut a dovetail.
Me
That's
neither.
cool.
Yeah.
That's
and so
awesome.
that's where in my group right now, I know Jacob and Colin have both done a lot of like joinery stuff, and I have not. And I don't know if Alex has. I don't know what he's doing. But that's kind of where all the very different levels of experience is. Something that just our shed has been ahead of a lot of the other groups. And I chalk a lot of it up to those guys need a lot less time prepping, getting ready for the day, and like going. They have an idea in their head of like, this is what we're going to accomplish today. This is what we're going to get after. This is what we're going to do. And so we get there and those guys just get kinetic. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, we're building sheds. All right, let me get my stuff together and so I kind of feel like Michael, where I'm the furthest behind and I'm like, okay, but I'm learning fast, seeing these guys do it. And so we're like trying to finish before the end of the semester, because if we have to go back in January, we're going to be hanging shingles in like negative degrees. And so I don't want to do that. But that's funny. I told Jacob, cause he's always like, lunch break's over, he's back at work and he's going, and he's really good about that. And so I told him the other day, hey, if you see me, whenever you're done with your lunch, just tell me to get back to work and I'll go work with you because I want to get this thing done.
Yep.
So but also like, I was also trying to like be cognizant of, oh yeah, I guess I'm just sitting there chatting with people. 101 comes around, everyone's still talking. 105 comes around, and then Steve's like, all right, let's get back to it. So anyway.
What did y'all lunch? 12 to 1?
12 to 1.
Yeah,
well,
that's the same thing we do.
I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I think it's technically supposed to be 12 to 12:45.
Yeah.
But I'm not positive. It's been very unclear. It hasn't been ever like, this is when our this break is. This is when but we have a coffee at like 9:30 to 9:45. And then our lunch is 12 to 12:45, I think.
Yeah.
But it's just
what time do you start?
7:30. We get there early, 7:15 to set up. We're like going by 7:30 is our goal.
Yeah. Well, that's
and we
cool.
do 410s. What do y'all do?
We do 5 days a week, like 9 hours.
9 hours each day?
And then kind of whatever is needed. Like if we're about to finish up a task, we'll just keep working.
Finish it, yeah.
And then we do 1 hour lunch break for the whole day.
Nice.
If you want to take your hour and use it in like little increments, you can. Yeah. But I like to just hang out in the van.
Yeah.
I've been cooking some good food at
really?
lunch. Yes.
Wait,
I've been cooking.
You bring a grill?
I bring this $20 Walmart
nice.
grill.
Hot plate or grill?
It's a gas. There's a little gas canister.
Butane.
You open it up.
Yeah.
Butane. Yeah. And then I've had ribeyes every day, salmon, chicken.
No way.
Yes. I've got pictures.
That's great.
I've got pictures and videos. And
that's pretty fun.
That ought to be a video.
I know. That should be a video.
For job sites.
Yeah, because fast food people used to get fast food because it was cheap.
Now
it's not cheap anymore.
No.
I buy that ribeye for like $10.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
It's a 1 pound ribeye.
Yeah.
And it's cheaper than going
to fast food.
And then the rice is like $1. I cook rice. I cook mushrooms.
That's
I cook
incredible.
all right there on this little thing.
That's really fun.
That's
it's
really
all
cool.
in the back of the Sprinter.
That's fun.
And the Sprinter's like a home away from home.
Have you seen? Have you got it built out? I know that company was going to do it, but they didn't do it.
They didn't want to do it because I didn't want to put the partition in between the driver and the back cargo.
That makes sense.
Because I like walking through there.
Yeah.
But no, I haven't done anything with that.
But it's still a home away from home. That's nice.
Yes. Yeah, I've just been running and gunning.
So you don't drive the dually anymore?
No, John drives that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What about, have you seen that account on Instagram, either of you guys, where they cook stuff with like the job site tools? So they like...
What? No, I've not seen that.
It's a really funny account. We should, I'll pull up a video after we finish, but it's like they've got like a forklift and they're like flipping eggs with the forklift.
Oh,
and
no,
like,
I hadn't seen that.
They like cook, I can't remember. They have like whatever the scoopers.
Oh, like a bucket?
Yeah, like a bucket from like
a skid steer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they filled it with stuff and like cooked something in there. They've like done a bunch of funny stuff like that.
And they eat it? It's sanitary?
I don't know. I don't know what they do with it. But they have these like big cook, I don't know. It's an account. It's out there.
It's so good to like just sit there, and it takes me about 15 minutes to cook this amazing meal.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is a no-brainer, you know?
Wow, that's smart.
Costs the same.
Yeah.
What time are we at? Okay.
We could do a Joe Rogan and go 3 hours if y'all want.
We can go 3 hours.
What's next for you, Richard?
What's next?
Yeah.
Probably some more Super Smash after this. No, just kidding.
But probably not.
Continuing to grow the company, continuing to network with people. And you remember when our buddy Dan Parrish was here? He's like, I went to every builder, and when he started, and like, hey, that's how he grew so big. I was going to every homeowner. Hey, I'll do your accent wall. I'll do your little dog chewed up your window thing. I'll do that, So that's probably next, to just keep communicating with guys like you, and that's it.
I have a question for you.
That's great.
Oh my gosh, this is perfect. I had my dog chew up. No, I'm just kidding. But it is something on it. It is something a little bit on that part. Yes, I'm a really hard to work for. Okay, so kind of crazy story. I slipped falling down the stairs. I was wearing socks. Got new slippers. Don't worry about it. We're good. Yeah, I cracked a stair tread falling on it. So I like, it was like a cartoon.
An oak tread.
Like a banana peel. I slipped up and I was like in the air like a cartoon, and I like landed on my back on the stair tread, just like hit the corner of it. And so I cracked the whole tread.
Was this icy or something?
No, it was
in his house.
I was wearing socks. Yeah, I was wearing socks.
Inside.
It was bad.
This was in his house.
Yeah. I got slippers, so we're all set. But I was in socks and I was going down the stairs too fast. I really wasn't going that fast, but I just slipped.
And you were like all loud after that.
Yeah.
Your daughter's asleep.
Yeah, literally. It was like Peter Griffin on Family Guy. Yeah. But I fell. And
Baby's crying.
Yeah. It hurt so bad. But I cracked the tread. I need to replace the tread.
What?
Is that something I can do?
Yeah.
Why don't you just re-glue it?
Okay, excuse me. I'm talking to Richard.
Glue is stronger than the wood.
So
That's true. Yeah.
Really?
Glue's stronger than wood.
So how do I clamp it then? I'm asking Richard.
You could do it with screws
I'm talking to Richard,
temporarily.
thank you.
Yeah, you could do like a little. Where did it crack? Like if this is the edge of the
I
stair
can show you a
tread.
picture. If that's the edge.
Yeah, this
it
is the
cracked
nosing.
Like this.
Oh, so it's right on the edge.
Yeah.
Yeah, you pull it back,
Yeah.
dump some glue in there.
Oh, don't worry. When we step on it, it pulls back every time.
Dang.
Yeah. I mean, I cracked it.
Would you like us to pause while you look on your phone?
Can you? I'm talking to Richard. Thank you.
That is nuts.
I'm so sorry. This is taking a second to
Yeah,
find.
no. Take your time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here it is.
We've got tons of time.
Yeah, I agree with Brent. I would.
No.
dump glue
Go
in
ahead and ask the journeyman.
saying?
Go ahead and ask the journeyman.
He made his masterpiece.
there, pull it back.
Yeah.
Maybe like stick a couple of pry bars in it to keep the wood separated.
It's more open now.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately.
Dump glue in, and maybe like a 18 gauge brad, right, and then tape it off, or a trim head screw.
You could do a trim head screw.
Just drive it in.
You could also do a longer screw with the block behind it and suck it in there, and then all you're doing is filling that hole.
Just make sure if you use the trim head screw, do a little pre-drill
Yeah.
with a little bit, so it doesn't just.
Yeah.
It makes it worse.
Blow it up even worse. Would you send two in? Because it's across the whole length of the thing. Would you send one there and then one there?
I'd probably do 3,
You
Yeah,
do
I'd
3?
probably do
Okay.
3 too.
and then you have a little nail hole like on the side of that.
Yeah.
And you just patch that up.
Just
Yeah,
ready
piece-
patch?
Is this?
Piece of
My
I'm
apartment.
assuming this is your apartment.
Yeah.
Yep.
Isn't that
Or
crazy?
they'll just take it out of your deposit. You choose. No.
Yeah, I told the lady when it happened, I was like, how do you want me to fix this? And she was like, you can do it yourself, or you can get a carpenter, like a licensed carpenter.
I wouldn't replace the tread.
You're calling a licensed carpenter. You're going to North Bennett Street.
That's how I felt. I was like, I don't want to do this because I'm sure either someone in
you
my
could do
class
it.
can do it or I can do
No,
it.
that's
or-
a good little job for you to do a repair.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm kind of glad that happened to you.
Yeah.
No, just kidding. You broke your
I'm
back.
like breathing in and I like feel the pain every time I.
Even now?
Yeah. That's why I think I broke the rib.
Is the rib still broken?
I can't
Would it
tell.
hurt if I just did this?
Not really. Oh, it's up. It's right here. It's lower than that, but it hurts. Whenever I breathe in, like, yeah, there it is.
Oh no. Have you researched if that goes away?
Well, if it's a broken rib, it will.
It'll heal.
But they would wrap, like, what are they going to do with a broken rib on me? Are they going to wrap me up? Are they going to cast my chest?
It's true.
You know, I'm not going to
There's nothing you
go
can
in
really
for
do.
that. Or
You're
they're
getting all,
going to do
you're
surgery.
getting all the sympathy you're ever going to get from this little cry that you're little doing.
Thanks, Richard. I
Yeah.
appreciate you. This is why I wanted to talk to you.
You
not
feel
him.
Yeah.
better.
I needed you around, man. This is what I'm dealing with all the time now. Can you believe this?
Know what this is?
What is that? I can't see it. It's pretty small.
Okay, awesome. Dude,
Yeah.
so great to see you. So
Yeah,
glad to
thanks
hear
for
that
having
you're
me
doing
back.
awesome. Yeah, don't get too busy. We need you for our jobs.